panelimiz, İş Konseyimiz Yönetim Kurulu üyelerinden Sayın Ersoy Erkazancı moderatörlüğünde Easy E-Ticaret Bölgesi, Aramex ve Apparel Group ve Six Street katılımıyla gerçekleştirilecektir. Ersoy Bey'e bırakıyorum sözü.
Teşekkür ederim. Ben de Ankara'dan herkese merhabalar diliyorum. Müsaadenizle İngilizceye geçiyorum. Hello everyone. My name is Ersoy Erkazancı. I'm a board member of Turkish Business Council and also Dubai correspondent of Bloomberg HD, which is a TV channel a partnership between Bloomberg and Habertürk. Today I will be your moderator in our panel, which is called United Arab Emirates at a Glance. I have three valuable guests, Mr. Tariq Badri from Easy Dubai Logistic District, Mr. Rabi Allah from Aramex, and Mr. Kamal Kotak from Sixth Street and Apparel Group. What I planned is we have like around 1.5 hours. I will leave the questions to the end. So last 30 minutes will be question and answers from the audience. But first 1 hour, each panelist will have 20 minutes each, and we will have question and answers, and also they will have a presentation. Now I am in Ankara, but I've been living in Dubai for 5 years now, and my friends ask me about Dubai, and when I define Dubai, I always say Dubai is a global stage, but the spectators are like from more than 100 nationalities. So if you are successful in Dubai, it means you can be successful everywhere. So before starting our panel, I want each panelist to introduce themselves. But first, very shortly, just what you do and your company in maybe in 2 minutes. I'll ask each panelist. Then I will start with Mr. Tariq Badri. So Tariq, can you introduce yourself and your free zone in very short sentences? Then we will talk more in details.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Tariq Badri. I'm the Director of Business Development at the Logistics District. And I look after the sales and the uphold of the total inventory of Logistics District in terms of sales and customer service. Dubai South is a platform where it is a free zone. It's a major infrastructure project which has been initiated by the government, and it plays a big role in the economy and serving the logistics industry and the air freight, sea freight, along with the e-commerce projects.
Okay, Tariq, thank you. Now, Rabi Allah from Aramex, Global Director of E-commerce. Hi, Rabi.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Yeah, my name is Rabi Allah. I run the Strategic Value and Impact organization at Aramex, and I head up the consumer and retail vertical. So under me, it's a commercial organization. I probably run the top 30, 40 customers globally for Aramex. For those who don't know Aramex, it's a global logistics player, right? Big footprint in the region, but also globally. We have over 65, 70 offices in the world, around 15,000 employees. So look forward to getting into the details in my presentation and meeting everybody on the call. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabi. Welcome. Now, Kamal Kotak is the General Manager of Sixth Street and Apparel Group. Yes, Kamal, welcome.
Thank you. Hi everyone. Warm welcome and good morning to all of you. My name is Kamal Kotak and I work at Apparel for almost now 20 years. I've been part of the group for expanding the business in the international brand and also getting the brands for the sixthstreet.com. We operate 75 brands in the GCC region with almost 1,800 stores. And we also have a sixthstreet.com, which is a lifestyle platform popular in the region. And, we have been growing in the region from last 20 years. And one of our key partners from Turkey is LC by Kiki. We are the partner from last 5 years, and we are growing with them steadily in other markets as well. So nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Kamal. So we will talk more in details. With this order, I will come to you each by each. So Tarek, I want to start with you. So every topic, everyone has a topic name. Advantage of selecting Dubai as a hub for e-commerce. Your topic is. So
Right.
why should we choose Dubai, and why should we choose Easy Dubai? And is it really easy to open
It's,
an office with Easy Dubai?
yeah, of course. I would like to begin with the project in general. The project scale is around 145 kilometers squared. As I mentioned before, it's a major infrastructure project, a development by the Dubai government, which was initiated back in 2006. And it developed quite well in terms of logistics. I would like to share this presentation with you. And can we move to the second slide, please? Yes, as you can see, the left green area, that area is, the whole area is Dubai South. The size is 145 kilometers squared. The beauty of this project is it's connected with the seaport as well, and it has an airport, which plays a big role in terms of mobility and connectivity. As you can see, it's connected with 3 major highways, connecting the Northern Emirates and the Southern Emirates, which is Abu Dhabi. And it is located in a regional, and in terms of, as I said, connectivity, it has a bonded bridge, which is connecting between the free zone in Dubai South and Jafza, which is Jebel Ali free zone. It's connecting both airport and seaport. So you are within the same free zone, no need to clear customs to exit the free zone in order to connect both sea and air freight, which is unique. And I think it's a value add for the region and for Dubai. And as Dubai DXB airport, if you can see the small square on the right, that is the difference scale between Dubai South and existing Dubai airport. You can connect both airports with 35 minutes drive, and which is quite convenient. And there's a dedicated line for truck sealing as well, and which is most of the 3PLs and the freighters are finding it convenient. If we can move, please, to the second slide. So this is the master plan of the project. It's divided into a few sectors. We have one of the major sectors is the airport. Actually, it's managed by Dubai Airport. It's called Al Maktoum International Airport. Then you come to the L shape, which is the logistics district, and the humanitarian, of course. We host the site for Expo 2020, which is 2021 now. It's postponed for next year. And we have the business park, of course, the office component, which will cater all the SMEs and the startups, along with the established organizations who will require only offices to operate from. And of course, at the end, we have the residential component, which is a city where you can live, you can work, and enjoy your life. And at the end, I would like to put a touch point on the MBRU, which is Aerospace Hub. It's Mohammed bin Rashid Aerospace Hub. It's a dedicated aviation sector, which will have all the aviation MROs and the facilities which will have place in the region. Now, the logistics district, as I said, is established in 2006. All infrastructure and roads and connectivity are there. Back in 2018, if we can move to other slide so that I can continue. Yes, for the logistics district, so we provide a platform in terms of real estate to the end users, which are the 3PLs, freight forwarders, or an e-commerce, from either a small office to a facility which is 100,000 square meter or 200,000 square meters. We have identified few sectors which we always target as a region, since we have done some studies in terms of what is the need in the region and what is the focus points we should have. Fashion, life science, perishables, IT and telecom, e-commerce, of course, and critical spare parts. Those are the key sectors which we target, and we are being quite successful in. If we can move to the second slide. Yeah, seamless connectivity. We provide as I mentioned earlier in the first slide, which connects sea, air, and road transportation, which has a corridor between both seaport, airport, and road transport. Please move to the second slide. Okay, why Dubai South? Again, it shows the same connectivity, which I will not touch base on it as well, as I've covered this subject. I would like to jump into Easy Dubai for now. Excuse me, if you can move to, yes. Easy Dubai was, second slide, please. Yes, back in 2018, we have noticed the growth in terms of e-commerce. And for the past 5 years, e-commerce have been growing on yearly basis with massive numbers in terms of percentage and volume. So as the Dubai South, we took the initiative to run a strategy or a study on a strategy, how to enhance the e-commerce business and to co-op with the growing global market in terms of market share and attracting this sector into Dubai, and how to become a hub for the region. We have initiated a study back in 2018, and following in 2019, this strategy was moved to Dubai Executive Council as a market strategy for e-commerce for the whole Dubai Free Zone area. We have done quite well in terms of enhancing that strategy into applying it into local markets. And the beauty of Easy Dubai is that we went into every detail in terms of customs, in terms of police, in terms of registration with those companies, and legality and governance, how these companies will operate from Dubai as a free zone and serve the region, the GCC or the MENASA region. Can we move to the second slide, please? Okay, we have, especially with the pandemic, the unfortunate pandemic which took place, we have noticed a growth in the supermarkets orders in terms of e-commerce, food and beverage, pharmacies, electronics, and computer software services such as Zoom and Microsoft Teams and these applications. Those are main growth which we have noticed in terms of Easy Dubai, and which we are looking at expanding it throughout the free zone. Please, if you can move to another second. Yes. So why Easy Dubai? We have purpose-built e-commerce clusters. So we looked at, it's true that for e-commerce players to operate within a free zone and the warehouse, they need a typical warehouse, but the components of that warehouse will have different methodology in terms of different loading bays, in terms of mezzanine floors. And we have looked into every detail for every e-commerce player, how would they like to operate from that facility, either from a smaller scale to a larger scale, which is 100,000 or 150,000 square meters. So we are looking at every aspect in terms of providing the platform for those e-commerce players to operate from. And multimodal logistics, yes, as we are connected in, as we can see, through rail, through road, and through rail in future. Etihad Rail is coming on to Dubai, air and sea freight. If we move to cost efficiency, we have added district cooling to the facilities where it is connected by district cooling, and the infrastructure is there. We have managed to link the development of those warehouses with the infrastructure in order to bring the cost down, since e-commerce is not a fast revenue generating company or organization, since they sell items which are less in terms of value up to high value. So in order to help those platforms to succeed in this economy, we have managed to reduce the price value of the lease in terms of facility to the lowest possible in terms to cater and attract those customers to come in. Sustainability, we are sustainable. All these buildings are built at green and Al-Safat category, which enables that some companies do have that as a requirement, and we fulfill that requirement for them. And as we mentioned before, we have enhanced customs and engaged with customs during this strategy to look into different aspects where it will ease the business for those e-commerce players. And it's all about efficiency and time. So having a proper process with customs will push that time consuming faster and faster for those e-commerce players. If you can move to other slide, please. This is the master plan of the logistics district. As you can see on the right bottom, this is the Easy Dubai e-commerce platform which we have created. It has different mechanisms in terms and different offerings in terms of types of warehouses. We've been looking to last mile providers. We have built some facilities which will cater that last mile facility. E-fulfillment centers, repair and return. So those, most of the returns will be generated through a different sector if required by the e-commerce player, and business blocks in terms that will have offices, supply centers, multi-drop and parking, and the total development is around 920,000 square meter with a built-up area of 550,000 square meters as well. The scale is huge, and now I would like to go to the second slide, please. Okay, the beauty here, this is the interesting part of Dubai South and Easy Dubai. These facilities are within the free zone, but it will have the dual component, which is hybrid. Each building, each warehouse will have bonded and non-bonded access, which is free zone and non-free zone. So you have access from the local market and you have access from the free zone, which will help the customers and the end user of those facilities to will have that bonded and non-bonded component, which will let these companies to operate from free zone and non-free zone, where they will have freedom for storage in long term and shorter term as well. For regional, it will have longer run for storage. They will have to store their facilities in terms of free zone, and for non-free zone, they can have ease of movement in and out. If you can see the blue roads connecting those facilities, these are non-bonded, which is outside the free zone, and the orange roads are in the free zone. How this will work, the facility internally will not be separated. If we can move to the second slide, it will have a clearer image. Yes, here, if you can see, the facility itself is not separated internally, but the yard is separated through a fence and a secured area. So it's divided upon the request of the client or the e-commerce player, either it's Amazon or whoever, and they will have the separation in the yard. The customs will manage their WMS system in terms of clearance and what inventory is out and in. And there are several aspects which are as a solution, which we'll like to discuss it privately with the customers themselves. And if we can move please to the second slide. And these are the buildings we have built. The first building, Easy Dubai, is around 33,000 square meter. It's being handed over next month to one of the growing e-commerce players in the market. It's the first building being completed in terms of e-fulfillment, but we have last mile centers which are operating. DHL Express is operating from there, and some other last mile which we are in talk with them as well. If you can move please to the second slide. These are our key clients which have already presence in Dubai South and are operating. As you can see, Amazon is there in terms of e-commerce. Noon is there, which is the regional growing e-commerce player. First Cry, it's based from India, and DHL Express, as I mentioned earlier, Sharaf DG, Tonasco, who does coffee, Conan Nagel, Aramex, and the rest you will follow as well. I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for listening, and we'll be open for questions in later stage. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Tarık. It was
No
a very
problem.
good presentation. I'll have a couple of questions, then we will take from the audience. First of all, I want to start by the name. Easy, e-commerce zone, but it also sounds like easy to set up. Is it a special reason?
Easy to set up. So if you apply for a license today in Easy Dubai for either a small desk to operate as an e-commerce private business or as an e-fulfillment, I can get you the license in one day. So you can register your license. You get your license number to apply for a bank, to apply for visas in 1 day. Then the following formalities will take place based on the request from the licensing team.
Okay, it's really easy then. I took
Yeah.
many notes about you. You know, there are lots of free zones and they're all competing. What's unique about Easy Dubai? I took, like you said, connectivity, mobility, last
Yes.
mile. But
So,
when you want to attract a client,
so
what do you say?
the traditional way of warehousing and storage in Dubai is either you have a warehouse in the free zone where you don't pay customs and until you clear those goods to the local market, and you have the local warehouse, which is custom duty paid and cleared goods, right? So previously, those omni-channel or the players in terms of e-commerce had two warehouses, which one is located in the free zone for regional storage and longer term storage, and they do not clear it to the local market unless required. Or they have a warehouse in the local market, which are only cleared goods and they sell cleared goods. Now, Easy Dubai plays both components. So we have connected both warehouse into one, which it will save a lot of cost and it will generate more ease of business for the customers as well. So the main beauty of it is you can sell those items and clear it later on. It will have faster efficiency on moving the goods into the local market, and even it will help the return, because majority of the e-commerce are facing the returns, the huge number of returns, which reaches around 20 to 25% per day. So that volume will require easier custom processes, and here is where Easy Dubai comes as a beauty, where you can return your returns into the facility and goes back into your inventory without going through the customs, and the customs will monitor that system on monthly basis on 30 days after you sell. So most of the return policies are 14 days. So within that 14 days, if it goes back to your shelf, you don't need to declare it to customs. And this is the unique part of Easy Dubai, and the dual warehousing, which is bonded and non-bonded.
Okay, Tarek, and I know you are trying to attract all the companies all around the world, but
Yes.
now Turkish companies are watching you. So what's the opportunities for Turkish companies? And I want to make it very simple
opportunities
to understand.
for Turkish companies.
Just 1 second. I mean,
okay.
we want to be in the marketplace, but do we have to physically come to Easy Dubai, or is there another way of doing business?
If you want as a marketplace, you can always have your license with Dubai South and use the marketplace, which is operated and offered by the existing clients such as Aramex, since Aramex are with us, such as DHL Express or Amazon or Noon, or one of those players who cater the globe, I think, with their infrastructure in place. So they are more than welcome. They can get their license from Dubai South, and they can get the operation from either Amazon or from Aramex and the rest of the players in the region. First year for e-commerce license is free, and that is for the Turkish companies.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The license is free for first year, so they can try out the business here in Dubai South, and it will even be good to know how the connectivity works as well. It's good to experience it. They need to, I think, to move out of Turkey is quite. They need to move out to try the other markets as well. Yeah. And we are here to support every inquiry they have in terms of setup and everything.
Okay, Tarek, thank you very much.
No problem.
Please stay on the line. At the end, we will also have questions from the. And also, can you last mention? I mean, we will share the details, but how should they reach you? Or
my contact details are with the organizer already.
Okay.
And we are more than happy to set up meetings, answer their questions through emails or through online calls as well. Okay. We are available on call anytime.
Thank you. Shukran,
No
Tarek.
problem, of
Now
course.
I'm jumping into Rabi, Aramex, Rabi. So our topic is logistic opportunities and fulfillment services in Dubai. And also when I was looking on your website, I saw that you are the first listed company in New York and Nasdaq, sorry, and also you are listed in Dubai stock market. So it's interesting for me also. My background is equities. So the stage is yours, Rabi.
All right, thank you. I'm just going to share my screen before I start. Okay, look, thank you very much for the invite this morning. I'm excited to share my views of the MENA e-commerce landscape and specifically the logistics opportunities and fulfillment services in the UAE and across the GCC and MENA. Before we start, just a quick intro. We touched upon it earlier. So yes, with Aramax, I had the Strategic Value and Impact Organization. You can find me on Twitter and LinkedIn. And for those who like to connect, I've also sent my email here. So please reach out with any questions that you might have in terms of the ecosystems, in terms of what works, what doesn't. We have a lot of experience in the region working with Turkish players and players from other origins, which you'll see in the deck. Look, first thing is, I just want to give a snapshot of the opportunity and why MENA. 70% internet penetration across all of MENA, but if you take the GCC or specifically the UAE and Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait, it'll probably be in the high 90s. Very young population, very tech savvy, but very high smartphone penetration. If MENA has more smartphone users than the UK, Germany, and France combined. I mean, just to put that in perspective. Plus, a lot of the currencies here are pegged to the dollar, so the strong dollar is great. High willingness to pay. If you look at the average basket in the region, is around $144. So this is great for the Turkish market, especially today with what's happening in the currency. Qatar and Kuwait are the two highest baskets, probably touching about $200. Now take that in comparison to like the Russia, for example, where it's $8 a basket. There's a thirst for cross-border brands, right? International brands coming into the region. The region here is very unique. Cross-border coming in is volume for e-commerce is actually higher than the domestic. And it's because of the lack of raw materials, the lack of homegrown brands, and the thirst for international brands coming from different origins. Till today, folks still, customers still prefer payment on delivery. We've seen a major shift from cash to cashless over the last 3-4 months due to COVID. And we at Aramax were pioneers in rolling out a cashless digital channel in terms of collecting payments. So it'd be through the app, through an online link, and a POS machine at the door when our courier shows up. And I'll touch upon that later in a later slide. So we're looking at around a 12% CAGR year on year. So we see big growth. Aramax has doubled down their investment in terms of building capacity here in 2020. We don't see demand actually subsiding. So we're building capacity very heavily, and we're looking to actually double our capacity before the end of the year. The latest numbers show the market is around $20 billion, and it's looking to double, maybe even triple by 2025 to 60 billion. Now the UAE is very interesting, right? So a lot of this growth is on the back of very smart and technology forward government policies, a very business friendly regulatory framework, and of course the digitization push from the government, where they want to digitize the customer experience at every touch point. Okay? Just to touch on a little bit of the cross-border and what you see. So fashion, specifically women's fashion, baby fashion, that's the biggest category, followed with consumer electronics, toys, fashion accessories, and some beauty and cosmetics. The biggest origins today are the US, the UK, and China, and India. We'd love to have Turkey as a major origin. I think there's some great brands in there that we work with that we want to grow. So we're heavily investing in that lane as well. Now, this potential market or the opportunity here doesn't come at ease, right? There are still some challenges in the market that I'd like to just talk about and see how Aramex has addressed them. So there's the lack of address system, right? So anybody who's done business or who's lived in the region understands that it's difficult to find the consignee. And then at Aramex, we've actually applied technology in different ways to find the consignee, which has really helped us in increasing the success conversion and also limiting returns. Second, the payment on delivery. And then also a third challenge is the scalability during peaks. So as you know, e-commerce is very seasonal. In the region, you have Ramadan, you have the big Eids, you have back to school, and then you have the November and December White Friday, Black Friday, Christmas season. And then that sometimes you see a 2 or 3x surge in volume, and many players struggle with that volatility. So we've put in some very innovative solutions to address this. Okay, the first one is the address issue, right? So we've launched an Aramex app. The app helps you live track. You can monitor from a bird's eye view, knowing exactly where your courier is, where your package is. We can also collect payments, and it's a fully easy kind of user interface. Okay, we've also partnered with What3Words. So this is an innovative geocoding technology from the UK. This really helps us in remote areas, specifically in Saudi. And then also we've launched a WhatsApp bot to enhance the customer experience. So not only to track and monitor, but also to schedule a shipment. So what we're doing is we're leveraging data to understand the customer preferences. So if a consignee has used Aramex for 5, 6, 7 times, and we know where the location is, we know what the preference is for time, what date, and we match that up with our availability in terms of our time slot and our capacity. And we marry the two using data and some machine learning. And then we actually schedule the shipment, asking them to confirm. So we've kind of removed that whole friction of the phone call and the back and forth on the WhatsApp. And so this has worked really well over the last few months since we've rolled it out, and we look forward to kind of growing the solution. Going back to payments, so we've launched an innovative product called Aramex Smart, which is buy now, pay later. Right? So you see this a lot in the West, especially in the US and the UK with outfits like Klarna. And so we're the first logistics provider to actually roll this. So you have a kind of all-in-one stack from delivery payment all under one umbrella. And so that's active today across the region. We launched the app, the Aramex app, where you can do contactless payments, right, for your shipments. We also have launched a simple online payment where we send you a link either through SMS or WhatsApp, and you can just click on the link and pay through there. And then if all else fails, all our couriers across the region have a POS machine. And they go up to the door, and then you can swipe a credit or a debit card or even a MADA card in Saudi. So the last challenge is the scaling up efficiently during the peaks. And so we've launched Aramex Fleet, which is a crowdsourcing model, like the Uber model for couriers. And this works especially well in countries like Oman and Saudi, where we've seen kind of big fluctuations in volumes, and at the same time, you have a lot of idle, unemployed youth, right? So we can kind of leverage that into our fleet and really reduce the burden of the volatility. At the same time, without backing up on the customer experience. So you have both very efficient fleet and at the same time a very strong customer experience. We also have an Aramex Spot, where we leverage retail outlets, right, and commercial locations across cities and across countries. Aramex Lockers, which is your traditional PUDO pickup drop-off locations. And all this comes under heavy technology and automation systems. So going back to Aramex, as I said earlier, very much a global footprint, right? Homegrown out of Jordan, headquarters is in Dubai. We're in 70 countries today. We serve 37 million customers, 600 offices, over 16,000 employees. 82 nationalities to piggyback off the Dubai model, right? So lots of people, lots of languages, and we ship close to 100 million shipments a year across the world. In the GCC, very, very strong market leader in the GCC, 7,000 employees, over 46 warehouses, 300,000 square meters in warehouse space, warehousing, express freight, domestic, cross-border fulfillment and returns, customs brokerage. Also in Turkey, we have good presence, around 200 employees, 2 warehouses, around 5,000 square meters, about 3,000 deliveries daily. Our main office is in Istanbul. We are super excited here about Turkey. So what we want to do is we want to bridge the gap of cross-border operations from Turkey to the region. And we've had some success with a few brands in Turkey. And so we're investing heavily in that lane. We're looking to expand projects, market entry projects into not only the GCC, but also Africa. We have really good relationships with the commercial flights. And so we have direct flights daily from Turkey to the region. We have innovative returns management process. So very easy returns, either in a dedicated warehouse here locally, or we send back to origin. Dedicated customer success teams, right? So we can do call center locally, really help your performance and operations. Our technology is second to none. We've invested heavily over the last few years to really lead from the front. And we're happy to meet and work on workshops, trainings to really kind of set up your business in the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rabi. It was a very good presentation, and it's nice to see you are really connected to Turkey and you have lots of presence in Turkey. And also I want to ask you, I mean, logistics or like delivery company, but you seem like you're a technology company now. You are really heavily invested in technology. I'm so impressed.
Look, I mean, the game is played at the customer experience, right? And what we're trying to do is we're trying to digitize pretty much that journey, and we've invested heavily in the technology angle. And this is what we've seen here over the last, I'd say 18 to 24 months. Is a lot of money that was poured into automation, and we believe that that's the big differentiator in the market. It's no longer about just delivering a package, but it's delivering it at an elevated experience.
Yeah, I mean, when I was reading your website, I saw you are using big data and artificial intelligence, machine learning very heavily. Also, something was interesting for me. You said government is really business friendly, supporting digitalization. I think government support is very important here, especially in digitalization.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the UAE as a hub, what we're seeing is a lot of brands coming and setting up in the UAE to be a hub for the region and into Africa. And this is on the back of very business friendly regulations, very great infrastructure, right? Good workforce. And so the government has done a great job in leveraging that, and folks are coming. I mean, that's really, we're seeing a trend from, rather than sticking to the origin, we're actually seeing folks coming in, setting up shop in the region, specifically in the UAE, in the different free zones, and then using that as a hub to cross border into other markets, Saudi, Kuwait, Qatar, and so on.
Also, you mentioned about payments, cashless payment. I think payment also supports logistics a lot. And also, I read in the news, I'm not sure about it, but there's another payment system government is working. This is digital wallet, Click, like 16 banks. Have you heard about this project also?
I haven't heard that, but I know Saudi launched MADA about a year and a half ago, and it's been a huge success, right? So if you look at MADA, I think it's like 60-70% of all transactions in Saudi are this MADA card. We've also launched an Aramex Smart solution, which is kind of buy now, pay later. This is supposed to reduce the friction of COD across both from the seller and from the logistics player. And we have an in-house algorithm that qualifies both seller and consignee. So we feel pretty strongly that this will actually help remove the friction of cash and improve the customer experience.
Okay, last question. You mentioned in your presentation, but again, since the audience is Turkish companies, what do you want to tell them? I mean, how you can increase the business with Turkish companies?
Look, absolutely. I would love to increase their global footprint and enable their business across the region. We've done great work with some of the brands coming out of Turkey. We feel that we're a market leader, not only in the GCC, but also in pockets of Africa and Europe and so on. So we'd love to meet and talk and see how we can enable their business across the globe.
Okay, thank you, Rabi. Please stay on the line. We will have questions from the audience. Now I'm jumping to Kamal.
Hi again.
Kamal, hi again.
Yes.
How are you, Kamal?
Good, good.
Well, I know that you also mentioned you are working with LC Waikiki. Are there any other brands that you are working, Turkish brands? And also, our topic is future of e-commerce and retail sector in GCC. So floor is yours.
Thank you. So I will start to share my screen and give some information about the company and the both for the retail and in the e-commerce business as well. Is my screen visible?
I can see. I think everybody can see if I can see.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, we see the Apparel Group logo.
Yeah.
So we are in the region from 1999, and we operate 75 international brands, and one of the brands is from the Turkey. We operate 1,800 plus stores in the GCC, India, and Southeast Asia as well. About 15,000 employees are working with us. We started business actually in 1999 from Dubai with our first international brand, Nine West. And then we grew from there. As and when Dubai and UAE grew, we grew together with the region. And then we expanded our business in India, Saudi Arabia, and even in Far East Asia. And recently we have gone into Egypt as well and South Africa. But our key base has always been Dubai and UAE. From there, we started even the supply chain, the logistics were also started from this part of the world. So if you look at from the perspective of number of stores that we operate, in UAE is our largest network of the store with 700 plus stores. And after that, Saudi and Qatar and Kuwait and Bahrain. So GCC is by far a #1 market for us as a retailer and as an e-com platform also. After that, India is also our market where we operate more than 200 stores. And we do have an expansion plan to get more into African countries as well. By 2021, we will launch our business in Algeria, Iraq, Kenya, Ghana, and Angola as well. So these are the brands that we operate in the region. Very strong portfolio in fashion and the footwear category. Very well-known name you can see. We do business in F&B as well and the beauty and accessories. So it's a retailer who does business in most of the important categories. Tommy Hilfiger, Levi's, Calvin, Nautica, LC Waikiki are a key partner in the fashion business. In the footwear business, we are this distributor for Skechers and the retail partners for Skechers also. We are retail partners for Adidas as well, Crocs and Aldo. Even in F&B business, we do Tim Hortons, where we operate more than 150 restaurants over here, besides Jamie Oliver and Sumo Sushi. And in total, this network is also available on the 6th Street as well, which is our e-com platform. Our leadership, our founder, Mr. Nilesh Ved, he started business on his own, and it's still, company is still owned by him and his wife, Mrs. Seema Ved, and it's still privately owned company, family-owned company. Mrs. Ved, our co-founder and our vice chairman. 6street.com, this is the business that we got into in last 3 years. We have been in this business where, we started actually with all our 70 plus brand as a platform. But today, not only we operate our brands, but we operate more than 200 brands from other distributor in the region. And it's a platform that is primarily a lifestyle platform that serves fashion, footwear, accessories, beauty, and home categories. It's for women, men, and children. And our focus is primarily to be in the lifestyle category. We don't want to get into the marketplace model like Noon or Amazon. So we want to have a platform like Zalando of Europe, where we sell the products across from the world, but focusing mainly on the fashion and the lifestyle. We have 3 million plus currently visitor on this site. Our presence with this 6th Street is currently across the GCC, in all the 6 countries, and we will be launching soon in India. And that's a very important strategic decision that, to manage 6th Street in India, managing from Dubai, being a logistic hub from Dubai, how do we manage all the 6 GCC countries together with India? That's a key advantage that we have in the organization, because we do retail business in India as well. Our women buyers are 56 and men buyers are 44, which is high compared to the other e-com platform. The 50% of the customers are in the range of 25 to 35, which are more matured customer, high spender that visit to our website. So we have now 2 distribution centers dedicated to only on e-com, only for 6thstreet.com. We do have other distribution center who are focusing more on the retail store. There's a separate team and separate distribution center in Riyadh and Dubai, which is 2 million plus square feet, supplying and serving customers for the 6thstreet.com. We do have a network of 1,350 retail stores of different brand and 200 stores in India of different brands. What is unique with us, because we are truly an omni-channel player where we operate retail stores and e-com, what is interesting to do that how we are aligning this link of retail stores with the e-com. So, we're trying to integrate both that, somebody is ordering from 6th Street, if the store can supply from nearest shopping mall, we do serve from that inventory as well, rather than not from the warehouse. The other interesting thing is that now our partners are so open that, to give convenience to the customer, if somebody is buying at the 6thstreet.com and if they want to refund it physically, to the different brand in the shopping mall, they can do that. So, for example, if somebody is buying LC Waikiki from 6thstreet.com and they want to return the product to the Aldo store in Ibn Battuta Mall, they can do it easily, basically. So that sort of a convenience that is given because we have a platform for online as well and platform for the retail store. And all the partners are open to those ideas where they collaborate and help each other to get a bigger business as an overall brand in the region. So, what has happened, I mean, last mile delivery is very, very important. We know that in the online business, it's a key. We do have Aramex, our strategic strong partner for many years, and they are our strong partner in 6thstreet.com as well. During the COVID time, the orders shoot up so high. We also started our own last mile as well in UAE and KSA because the demand was so high that even the other companies like Aramex were not able to fulfill our last mile deliveries. So now we have a permanent channel of our own last mile deliveries in UAE, KSA, in Kuwait, Oman, where last mile delivery is done by us as well, and at the same time, the partners like Aramex as well. We do manage the regionalbrand.com, and this is a very important business and the new business for us. So, Adidas.com.Saudi is managed and operated by us completely. So this is an individual brand.com that we manage. Tommy Hilfiger GCC, which is Tommy.com. If you go to Tommy.com, it will, from here, it will direct to GCC Tommy, which is operate and managed by us. Aldo Shoe UAE is also managed and operated by us. Rituals.com, which is again a UAE specific platform, is operated and managed by us. And similarly, we are trying to do a partnership with the other brands operating only the online.com. So, the things are changing from the other way. Before, we were trying to become a franchise partner of the retail stores. Now the things are getting different, where we are trying to become the franchise partner for the online.com, basically. So that's the difference that we are seeing in the region. And it's good that we are capable to manage both the sides. Some information on the market overview to give a more insight on the market. So there is some generic information that we can share, but a lot of things are very relevant basically. So today we are at the population of GCC is 57 million together, which is a huge population with a per capita in GDP of $53,000 for the GCC. And a lot of people, they don't know it's higher than UK and Canada and Japan basically as a GCC per capita. And in terms of a market also, the UK population, if we see 67 million, while we are 57. So we are equally or, at par with the UK market and little higher than Canadian market as well. Population growth, we will expect between 2 to 3% for next few years. And by 2025, we'll reach to 60 million population. Expatriates account 45% of the total population, but they are part of 75% of a GCC workforce. The interesting thing to know here is that the 50% of the population is under 25 and 24% of the population is below 15. And that makes us a very important market for the kids wear and for the baby products basically. And you can see, you can always see that the business that we do for the children's wear and the baby product is high compared to any other market. So, one of the example we give is mother care. They have a much bigger business in GCC compared to their home market in UK. While most of the brands like LC Kiki or H&M, the contribution of, kids wear is much higher than the normal other European market, which shows that, it's a market where the kids product and the kids wear has a bigger opportunity than the home markets basically. From the expats, GCC is a 57 million population, but we divide this population into 4 categories. One is the nationals, which are the GCC national. The second is the Arab expats, and the third is the Asian expats, and the fourth is the Western expats. So, we divide the customer into these 4 categories. And why it is important to know about these 4 categories, because each of these categories or segment have a different buying taste and different, sizes, a different, way of shopping. So when you come as a retailer in this market, you have to focus on all this 4 customer, or you need to focus on one customer and develop your strategy based on this customer profile, basically. So that's very important to know. Again, if we divide the GCC as a market, so Saudi Arabia is a one market we consider as a retailer, UAE is a one market we consider as a region, and the rest of the GCC is the other market. So we divide our business into 3 markets, UAE, Saudi Arabia, and the rest of the GCC. Tourist, it's a very, very important customer in the region. And, besides 57 million resident population that we have in GCC, there are 45 million plus tourists coming into the GCC, which makes us the 100 million, audience or the people who are coming to the region, or who are permanent and the floating tourists coming to the region. And one of the reasons why the tourist is going to be important in future, this year, tourists are not coming and there is a challenge little bit, but we know that the GCC as a country, they are aiming to bring a lot of tourists in the coming year. With the Expo 2020 coming in Dubai next year, we know that a lot of tourists will come in that event as well. And that's going to be a very, very important customer for any international brand whether they are present in the region. So, UAE, we know that, they will reach to 30 million of the annual tourists before 2030. Saudi Arabia, is aiming also 30 million of the tourists coming before 2030. Similarly, other GCC countries. So, overall GCC, they are targeting an annual 75 million tourists, which they are coming, trying to bring it before 2030, basically, and which is a huge kind of people coming to the region. And there's a lot of money coming invested or spent by these tourists in the region as well. If you see the chart, which shows that, that we do have a dependency on the retail versus the international tourist arrival. And this year will be little challenge because of the international tourist arrivals will be limited and the retail will suffer a little bit. But as a retailer, we are trying to see that how we can make sure that the business that will be sacrificed by the retail can be covered with e-commerce and can be covered with the residents who are living here and how they can come to the shopping mall and cover the retail business, which is going to be lost by the tourists coming to the region. In terms of a retail source, we were projecting to reach to $300 billion business across the GCC by 2020, and we will definitely hit to the projected number by 2021. And you can see the food retail is close to about $190 billion as a retail sales in the region. Some information now I would like to share on the e-commerce business, that what's happening in the e-commerce in the GCC. So you can see that, you know, the e-commerce is still small compared to the other, you know, matured market. We are still close to about 10% of the total retail market, 8 to 10%, about 25 billion. But it has been growing at the rate of 35% on an annual basis from last 5 years. And again, I'm putting a comparison to UK, that UK is 79 billion of the e-commerce business from the total retail, while their per capita is still lower and the population is 10 million higher than the GCC. So we are just 24 billion, and we have enough area to grow this business. Again, the UAE and the Saudi are the two largest e-commerce market. In the COVID-19, as a retailer, we saw a bigger jump, not only in UAE and Saudi, but in other rest of the GCC countries like Oman and Kuwait and Bahrain. Also, we saw a big jump in those markets as well on the e-commerce. Again, you know, if you see from the tech perspective, GCC nationals and the UAE and Saudi nationals are highly involved in the tech. You know, they spend more number of hours on the mobile and the internet compared to any other market like UK, US and China, but they don't shop that much the way the UK and China and the US shop basically. So we as a retailer, we need to be smart enough to make sure that they're spending time more than the US and UK, but they are not shopping that much. So how do we make sure that they start shopping as well to increase the e-commerce business basically? Currently, it's contributing again 1% of the GDP, which is significantly lower than US, UK, and China. The e-commerce penetration, again by category, if you will see that, you know, from 17 to 2020, the electronic is high. It's very normal. It's very usual. The beauty is number 2, which is again, you know, why we know that beauty is important for this region, and we can clearly see that penetration of the beauty category in the e-commerce is high compared to the fashion and the footwear and the lifestyle category and the grocery. But as I mentioned, during the COVID period, we saw a significant jump in the fashion category. It's difficult to give a you know, reasonable percentage that how much penetration is increased. We will get soon this data, and that point of time we can share that how much fashion has increased during the COVID lockdown period and post the lockdown. This is again a very important data when we compare to other markets basically. So, you know, the penetration of, you know, internet shopping, again, it's shopping, as I mentioned, that it's low compared to UK, China, and US, UAE and Saudi Arabia and Egypt are still low. We spend time more on the online, but we don't shop basically. And this is a very, very interesting thing that can, you know, if we all work smartly, we can increase the shopping quite easily because they are spending time online anyways. Purchase frequency, you know, again, this is 2018 data. The annual purchase is significantly, purchase is low compared to the other market. In the COVID, we saw a big jump in this purchase frequency, and I hope this will continue post the COVID as well. Spending basket, you know, very relevant information. I mean, again, Saudi and UAE is $150, you know, much higher than China, which is again the significant point to be noted. Penetration is too small. It was 4% in 2018. It has reached now to 8 to 10%. And in the COVID time, it jumped to close to about 18 to 20%, which was significant jump for all the e-commerce player. And post opening up, it has come to the range of 15 to 16%. So the target that we were supposed to achieve by 2021, we have achieved in 2020 basically, and we will achieve before the end of year what we are supposed to achieve by 2021 or 2022 in terms of a penetration of e-commerce. We believe that we will hit that target in 2020. This is the the e-retail penetration of China and US. I don't have a data of GCC, but I can estimate that what happened in GCC also does by evaluating our performance. So you can see that in the lockdown, China e-retail penetration jumped from 25 to 33, while in US it jumped from 16 to 20. We believe that we jumped from 8 to 10% to 18 to 20%, which was significant jump, and it came down. It came down now. The penetration is to the level of 15-16% because retail stores have opened now, and a lot of people have started shopping in the retail store. But a jump from 8 to 10% to 15 to 16% just in a few months is very, very significant for the e-commerce business. What are the key takeaways we see in the market? It's again, the e-commerce industry is fragmented. The penetration that was 4% in 2018, in the beginning of 2020 was 8 to 10%. During the lockdown, it grew to 20%, and post opening up, we are seeing in the range of 16%. Most of the purchase journey is spent online. Only 12% of those spending time are making a purchase online, which is again significantly lower than the other international markets like US, UK, and China. Frequency is very less. It has increased during the COVID time. Pure players like Amazon, Noon, Namshi, Sixth Street, Unas, Boutique seems to have won the first round. But again, there is a competition. No one has got still monopoly in the market. Everyone is fighting with each other, which is good for the consumer. Retail companies, including ourselves, Centerpoint, Max, Carrefour, Sun and Sand, they have also got into the online business, and they are significantly investing into the e-com platforms. Chinese players such like Jolly and Shein are very actively playing. We know that there are some issues with the Jolly business, but Shein is still successfully operating, and they do pretty good number in this region basically. Some global players which are doing cross-border in the region like Farfetch.com, Boohoo.com, ASOS, they do have a significant business in this part of the world as a cross-border business. In summary, the opportunities that currently we see in the GCC region, I mean, in terms of economy, it's a still stable economy, a growing GDP, growing tourism, the mega events and mega projects that we see that are coming into the region in next 2 to 3 years, with Expo 2020 being in now 2021. And this will continue to bring a lot of investment and a lot of tourism in the region. Population, 65% less than 35, which is very interesting for the retail and e-commerce business. They have a high consumer spending power, high disposable income. We still don't have the income tax on the individual income. There's an ease of doing business. Governments are now allowing to do 100% foreign investment. They are also promoting incentives if you do manufacturing in the GCC. More GCC national are joining as a workforce to various industry, including in retail as well, which is, again, bringing a lot of, money back into the consumption. The consumption is increases because this workforce is coming into the various industry. And then, of course, we saw that, increasing adoption of a digital channel as well. Collaborations with the apparel group. We do have a collaboration with Turkey as a country. LC Waikiki is our partner. We were talking to a couple of other partners to bring into this region. We were also discussing with a couple of F&B restaurant business from Turkey to become their partner in the region. But what are the few things that I feel that can be a very, very interesting e-commerce business with the Turkish brand? As I mentioned, that Boohoo.com from UK, they do a significant cross-border business to GCC and the UAE basically. And this is an online fast fashion platform from UK. It's currently doing a turnover will be 1.6 billion. and they do close to about $50 million cross-border in this region. Now we see that, that's a big, massive opportunity for Turkish fashion, suppliers, factory and brand to come together and, work with Apparel Group and become and make a one platform for Turkish fast fashion, sitting out of Dubai and serving from here to GCC, not only in GCC and to India as well, basically. And that's a massive opportunity I see, because we see a Namshi, we see a 60.com, we see the Noon and Amazon of the world, but we don't see a single fast fashion brand like Boohoo.com in the GCC. And I see that's a massive platform, given the experience of, the Turkish supplier and the factories, and the quality of product they make for the women's is so amazing. I see that can be a unique opportunity that can be worked upon. The partnership for 6th Street, now as an organization, we feel there's an opportunity to start from online and then to go towards retail store. So, we sell products at 6street.com, but at the same time, we supply product to the Namshi and to the Noon and to the Amazon in the region. So we become a distributor for the e-commerce business. And once we see a good response in the e-commerce business, we see the opportunity to grow the retail store business with that we work with the Turkish brand. The other thing that is important to see is the category special online platform. Now we spoke about the kids business. FirstCry.ae is the Indian kids online platform, is now available in the GCC. Mumsworld.com is another platform, and I see that there is another opportunity with the Turkish brand. Again, we do some sourcing from Turkey as well for the kids product, and there's amazing factories and amazing supplier in Turkey. There can be opportunity to start the Turkish kids platform.com. Again, sitting in the Dubai and serving to the entire GCC and India and Pakistan and those market. Again, why I am saying India again, because India is a good opportunity for Turkish factory and supplier, because India has, the border dispute going on with China, and there is a lot of anti-sentiment with the China currently in India, with the population and with the public. And this is the time where the Turkish factories and the supplier can penetrate to the Indian market, specifically through the online and the e-commerce channel. Again, making Dubai as a hub. It's a 2-hour flight to Mumbai from Dubai. It's a 4-hour, sea sailing period from here to Mumbai. So it's easy to reach to the customer sitting in Dubai. So I see as a bigger market for e-commerce, because we talk more about MENA and we forget about India and the Pakistan, basically, which are very closer market from here. And if you look at together as India and the MENA, this market is very big, basically. So, category specialist, sorry.
No, I didn't say anything, but I'm trying to check the time.
It's a last slide.
I think you are okay. Thank you, Kamal.
So it's a category specialist.com, lingerie.com, menswear.com, modest womenfashion.com, and the brand.com that we can start in the region. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamal. It's a very good presentation. I had many questions. You answered all of them. Then I started new questions. I wrote many new questions. But thank you for that, your last comment, because in the beginning I also mentioned that sometimes we only see Dubai or GCC, but I said GCC, Dubai is a stage, and if you are successful in this stage, you can go to India, Pakistan, and other countries. So thank you for mentioning about this. And for me, one of the things was you mentioned about convenience for the client. You are combining online and offline, e-commerce and retail together. It was also interesting for me. And beauty and baby products was very interesting. You mentioned about the numbers, but how do you expect the future? I mean, because of this pandemic, of course, retail shop has some difficulties and online growth. But if you look at the future, what do you see the percentage in future?
So the way we have seen the trend, after opening up in Dubai, of course, the initial business was very small, but honestly, the July has been going in the right direction. So we feel that retail will come back to the normal again in the region. But I think the overall pie will increase basically for the consumption. One that the e-com target that we were hitting, we were thinking of that we'll achieve in 2021 and 2022, we will achieve this year, primarily because, as I mentioned, the number of frequency of purchase will increase significantly, which you saw it was very small. And most of the retailers are now available online, basically. Even the medium-sized retailer, before they were not online, but they are now available online. So the customers have also experienced the shopping experience on the online. But as I mentioned, this market will not be like US or UK where retail will keep on dying and e-commerce will come. Here, the retail is very, very smart. Shopping malls are very, very smart, and weather is supporting us big time, where people will continue to visit shopping malls and the tourism. So I think we will continue to do business in shopping mall also. And retail will grow much faster. The speed that we were growing in last 5 years was very, very slow. I think the speed will increase, but overall, as a business, we'll have a good business across both the channels.
Okay. What I was going to ask you, do you have your own brands, and if you have, where do you produce them? Do you have any producers in Turkey?
Yes, we do have. We do our own brand called R&B, which is our own private label. It's a value brand, and it has a similar kind of like a family fashion lifestyle store. We do some sourcing from Turkey also, some kids product, even scarves also, and the lingerie also. We do travel, our people do travel to Turkey and do sourcing from that part of the world as well.
So, I hope you can hear me, but I had a connection problem. So I'll continue if you can hear me. Thank you, Kamal, for the very good presentation. Now I'll start to ask the questions of the audience, but I'm checking my WhatsApp because I cannot hear you. Okay, I can see that you can hear me. Now there was a question about support in sponsorship.
Sorry, I cannot hear you well.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, is it, so I cannot see my screen, but is it Kamal or, well, there was a question about Easy Dubai, if they are supporting any sponsorships.
Hi. In terms of sponsorship, no, we don't. But there is a product which might come later on in future, which is incubation purposes for e-commerce startups. But still, it's not launched yet. We are in the process of doing the formalities for that.
Okay. By the way, I'm sorry, I had some technical problems, as you can imagine in this. So thank you for Kamal, and thank you for all my panelists for the very good presentation. Now, we opened for the Q&A for the audience.
Okay.
Now, what I was going to ask is, if there are returns in the deliveries, what is the percentage in these deliveries, and do you make any returns on this? I mean, I can ask this question to Aramex or also Apparel Group. I mean, how are you dealing with the returns when you make the deliveries?
Look, I'll take this question. So returns are interesting, right? I would say a return percentage is anywhere between 5 and 15%, depending on what category, what region, what country, what type of consumer, and you know, where are you on the value chain? So what are we doing? Look, at Aramex, we have tried to simplify the process. So we use we have our own return portal. We also work with the shipper, with the sellers, in terms of either having a local warehouse where we would deliver the goods locally. We also have potential to consolidate and bulk and return back to origin. Right? So what we do is we try to work hand in hand with the e-tailer to see what works best for their business.
Kamal, you want to comment on this question?
Yeah, I mean, what Rabi mentioned, the percentage is very similar. It's 5 to 15%. Some categories it do go to up to 20%. There are some challenges in terms of the cost implication when you are supplying the product from Dubai and the return is from the Saudi Arabia. You know, the cost on that is significantly high, basically, and those are managed well if you have right information provided on the .com about the product, about the size, and right communication with the customer. But most of the returns are very, very genuine returns, basically, and that's a good part of the business model, because I know in the Europe and in the market like Germany, the returns are unbelievable high, which makes a business model difficult to work upon. While here we are still in the under 20s, which is good for the business model.
Okay, Kamal, in your presentation, were the figures in US dollars or dirhams?
In US dollar.
In US dollars, okay. By the way, I'll ask my colleagues Nihan's support, because I cannot see the Q&A now. If our participants, panelists can see the Q&A, please help me. I had some problems. Okay, now I see one of the questions. This is Yakup from Magellan Technology Consulting, Istanbul. We are a digital transformation company. We serve softwares to textile and retail companies as well. Do you think apparel and fashion companies will need more software in the future, since they are going to digitalization and e-commerce?
So you know, yes, yeah. I mean, a lot of people, retailers, are investing into the technology. We ourselves are investing, significantly into technology, and we need strong partners. Basically, we are looking into the strong partners. I do have a couple of calls tomorrow, also meetings, virtual meetings through Turkish Business Council with the companies from Turkey as well. But yes, there is a big, as I mentioned, that there is a growth in the e-commerce business. It's still new for the retailers who are getting into the business. So definitely there will be a lot of investment in the technology related services and the companies, basically.
Okay, thank you, Kamal. So please, Nihan, help me, because I cannot see any questions from the audience. Please, you ask the questions, then I will ask from all my panelists to have their last message. Then we will wrap up this session.
Okay. So the one question is from Mr. Emirhan Turhan. When Easy Dubai will be fully active and running, and what's the main differences between DAFZA, Commerce City? So the question is for Easy Dubai. Is it clear? Do you want me to repeat it?
Yes, it is clear.
Okay.
Easy Dubai is operational, but those facilities are depends on the scale as well. If that warehouse is an immediate requirement, it will take 12 to 15 months for development. If it is within our inventory and the requirement will fulfill the requirement of the company, then we are more than happy to engage into an agreement with that. What is the difference between DAFZA and the Commerce City and Easy Dubai? It's a different platform. Easy Dubai is at a bigger scale in terms of sizes of warehouses and the offerings. But basically, we provide the same product in terms of business setups and easing e-commerce in the region. The different part we have is the dual warehousing, which is bonded and non-bonded solution. That is what differentiates between us and DAFZA.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
see
You
another-
want me to? Okay. You go on.
No, I see only the last question. You asked the previous one. The last question is again for Easy Dubai. Do you have any remote ownership model?
All our licenses and business setups are full 100% foreign ownership. Okay, so any foreign company can register without any sponsor from local community here. So they can establish their full foreign ownership in Dubai South.
Nihan, I don't see the previous question. Again, I'll
Yes,
ask you.
sure, I will help. So the next question is from Mr. Erkan Dalyan. What is the amount of tax in Dubai for e-commerce for import? It's a general question. It's open to all panelists who want to answer that.
If you, okay.
Oh, should I take it? Okay.
Yes, please. No problem.
Yeah, so the UAE is actually pretty business friendly. For imports, they have a VAT of 5% and customs duty for basket sizes over 1,000 dirhams. So in dollars, around $235. You pay also 5% for duty, and then that's it from a tax perspective.
Nihan, any other questions?
Yes, I'm checking. So it's from Mr. Alpay Akdemir to Tariq Badri. Where do we apply for Easy Dubai? And he mentions that he checked online. So where is the application?
If our contact details are there, I think with the host or the organizer of this event as well, my contact details are available. And my email address will be available. And I'm more than happy to share it afterwards as well. You can always send me an email and set up a meeting for that, for establishment in Easy Dubai.
There's another question for you, Tariq. Do you offer dual licenses as well?
Yes, we offer dual licensing.
Okay. Nihan, help me.
Okay, I'm checking from the previous questions again. It's from Mr. Erkan Dalyan. Can we resell the products which are returned? Do you have repacking service?
That depends on the service provider which they choose. It's the marketplace which they will be operating with. I think that question goes to Aramex as well.
Yeah, thank you, Tariq. Yes, look, I mean, there's ways of reselling. I mean, we can connect you with some local players that do that. We also have some fulfillment services, and we can kind of restock and pick and pack. But yeah, I mean, there's options there in terms of what to do with the returns.
So we have one more question from Mr. Gautam Molani. Do we need to register as a branch in the WC?
Yes.
Okay. And
There's
a
a-
question, yes.
I
It's
saw
either
another question from.
if it should be a
Sorry.
branch of a local entity in Dubai or a new entity if it's a foreign ownership, if it's a foreign company, if it's not already registered in Dubai.
Okay, there's a question from Çetin Kosifoğlu. In the region, home textile products, how do you see the future of home textile products e-commerce? Maybe apparel should answer.
It's a very important category. I can tell you this was the one of the category which jumped significantly during the COVID time. And we ourselves also started this category, which was not our part of the lifestyle category to put on 6th Street. But yes, it's one of the important category, and it will continue to grow on e-commerce as well.
There is a question from Mr. Mustafa. I think this was covered, but again, what are the average return percentages depending on different categories? Maybe it's for Aramex again, or?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, for UAE, it's around 5 to 15%, depending on the category. One thing I'll add as well is we're seeing a diminished rate of return, right? So because of the conversion from cash on delivery to prepaid. So I'm pretty bullish here as we enter the second half of the year and the payment on delivery channel becomes more prepaid and more digital. We'll see returns also decrease.
Nihan, I think
Yes.
we are out of time. So if it's okay, I'd like to wrap it up. But
Okay.
we can share our panelists' contacts, and we will share so they can contact directly. But I would like to take your last message. I mean, what should be the takeaway from this panel? So I'll start with Tarık. One sentence.
Okay, I would like to thank everyone and for giving us this opportunity to participate. The Turkish Business Council, the embassy, and everyone who have helped us to be at this stage. E-commerce is growing. We are welcoming all the e-commerce players in Dubai and logistic players. We are here to support from technical point of view, from customs, from customized solutions, and we want them to be here, and we will help them grow as well. And I wish you all the best, and everyone stay safe.
Thank you, Tarık. Shukran.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Rabi, what's your last message? Take away.
So I urge everybody to take advantage of this boom that's happening here in MENA, specifically in the GCC. Today, 2-3% of all retail is online, right? Compared to 15-20% in China, US, UK. So we have a huge opportunity. You have a very young population, very tech savvy, thirsting for international brands with a lot of money, right? The willingness to pay is really high. The baskets are really big. So I think it's a perfect marriage between Turkish brands and the region. You know, they love the fashion and they love the Turkish fashions and the brands. And I think it's a perfect marriage between the two. So I urge you to do it, and please reach out to me so we can enable your business in the region.
Thank you, Rabi. Yes, Kamal. Last word.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, for inviting Apparel on this event. And as I mentioned that, we are open to all the ideas, all the association and collaboration and partnership that we can do with the Turkish supplier and the brands. And we feel free to ask about anything about retail and e-commerce, which I can share with you to make your business plan and business model successful. Just give a shout. My details are with Mr. Hassan and the Turkish Business Council. So, welcome, and there is a good opportunities available in the market. And India as well. Sooner you come, it's a big opportunity at this point of time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I want to thank you for all our panelists. I've taken lots of notes. I learned a lot, lots of insight. Sorry for our next panelists. I took some of their time, but I want to also thank you to Mr. Hassan Önal for initiating this event and to everybody who joined us. Thank you very much. Gül.
Evet, çok teşekkürler Ersoy.